In this episode of Occult Unmasked, this is part 1 in a multi-part series on L.W. de Laurence, one of my favorite occultists. I'm an anti-occultist, but I do study the history of occultists, and L.W. de Laurence is a legend in his field. I came across the best video on de Laurence on all of YouTube by a guy named Ali Shakur, also known as Third Eye Jedi. His dad tells a great story of how he was in Jamaica and first learned about de Laurence. He ordered magical items from de Laurence's catalog, and the story is very interesting. Take a listen. The full video can be found on Ali Shakur's YouTube channel, youtube.com/King Ali Shakur. Near the end of this video, I will attempt to recreate the story discussed by Ali Shakur's dad. I thank you for watching.
What's up, y'all? Ali Shakur, Third Eye Jedi, back with another video. Today I'm here with my pops, and he is schooling me on some of the occult sciences. And one of the things we're going to talk about today is this guy named de Laurence from Chicago.
Growing up in Jamaica, I was about 13 or 14 years old when I heard about de Laurence. So I wrote to him. I got a catalog from him. And I ordered a kerchief from him. And in the catalog it stated, whenever you use this kerchief, whatever you're doing, you always succeed at it. Mm-hmm. So we were playing a game named Skittle, almost like pocket billiard. But he had pins in front of each hole, about 4 pins, if I remember correctly. And the object was to sink the balls into the hole without knocking over the pins. And if I was losing, all I had to do was take the kerchief out, wipe my face, put it back, and I couldn't lose. I mean, you could play Skittle all day, couldn't lose. I got a talisman. It looked like a coin. By the way, the kerchief was silk, and in the center of the kerchief there was a circle. Mm-hmm. And in that circle, I remember correctly, well, there were 7 symbols in it. The kerchief could never get dirty. I also ordered the 6 and 7 books of Moses, the Book of the Dead. Anyway, the 6 and 7 books of Moses, there was one red book with a blank black page. And the facing page stated, if you turn this page, you will have no lot or part with God. So I didn't read that book anymore. One night I got a vision, or like a sixth sense told me to destroy everything. So I tossed the pen, and I tossed the talisman, and I decided to burn the kerchief. I lit it, it wouldn't light. I lit the matches, put to the kerchief, it wouldn't light. I went to the back of the house in the apex, with my back towards 2 walls. Tried lighting it, the matches went out. I got newspaper, wrapped the kerchief in newspaper, the matches went out. So I said to myself, this is impossible. So I got some kerosene oil, and I put in a garbage can cover, and I wrapped the kerchief back in newspaper, put it in the kerosene on a garbage can cover, and lit it. It wouldn't light. So I got a newspaper, another piece of newspaper, wrapped it, lit it, and held it by the garbage can cover. And the flames that let out of that thing was over 10 feet high. Red, green, black, every color you can think of under the rainbow came out of it. And I was scared shitless. From then on, I had no interest in occult.
Now, you said that de Laurence, his stuff was banned in Jamaica?
It was banned. Matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, if you go to Wikipedia, yeah, and look up de Laurence, you may find history of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, on Wikipedia it says that his stuff was banned in the island of Jamaica.
Yep.
So in order to get it, they had to disguise the packaging.
Yep.
With no return address.
Right.
to get these items.
If you're caught with it, you're going to jail.
Wow. Y'all heard it first, live from my father. Peace. Make sure y'all subscribe.
The following is my attempted recreation of the burning of Laurence's magic handkerchief. Do not try this at home. I used an old washcloth in replacement of the handkerchief. I used a metal painter's pan in replacement of the garbage can lid. Here's the newspaper I used. It does have some colored ink on it. And I used kerosene to be as authentic to the original incident as possible. I wrapped the washcloth in a newspaper and put a rock on top to make sure nothing flies away. The purpose of this recreation is to see if the flames react similarly to the original incident, where different colors of the rainbow jumped out of the flames. Obviously, I'm not using a magic handkerchief, and I'm likely not using as much kerosene as was used in the original incident. This is for safety purposes. The flame that came out was bright orange and yellow, like a normal flame from kerosene, from a campfire. Perhaps the kerosene mixture was a little bit different. Perhaps there was more color in the newspaper or a different type of ink. Or perhaps that L.W. de Laurence handkerchief did possess some type of magic. In no way, shape, or form am I saying that magic handkerchief wasn't magic. As a matter of fact, I do believe 100% that the occult is very real. It actually exists. Occultists actually summon spirits. They ask these spirits to possess an item, or they ask the spirits on how to make a magical item. And that's how some of these magical items are actually created, with the aid of spirits through sorcery. So it's a very dark subject that I don't practice. I'm an anti-occultist, and I believe 100% that the story is true. So stay away from the occult if it's not your thing. But I like to study and research it for historical purposes, and the more you know, the more you can protect yourself against negative things that are out there. The occult is very real. This test doesn't prove anything. I just wanted to know if I could in any way, shape, or form recreate the flame colors. I believe with gasoline or other flammable liquids, I could have recreated more colors. But that doesn't discount the fact that L.W. de Laurence was a legitimate occultist. I'm in the process of reading one of de Laurence's books, The Book of Death, and I can tell by the 2 chapters I've already read that de Laurence 100% was someone that knew what he was talking about. How do I know he knew what he was talking about? I know because he uses the exact same phraseology, the exact same questioning that I went through when I firsthand had contact with invisible entities from beyond, from the higher dimensions, negative entities. I will go so far as to call them demons. Not stuff I was interested in. I was an innocent bystander, and these negative things came towards me. Ever since then, I've been researching the subject. But I'm going to continue to talk about de Laurence in a future episode. I'm reading a few de Laurence books right now. As far as that freaky warning on the 6th and 7th books of Moses, I have not read that book yet, but such warnings are actually fairly common in older occult books. I haven't read that book, and most definitely, if you read a warning like that and you feel the urge to not continue, or if you get a 6th sense telling you to throw away something negative, go with your gut feeling. As for me, I collect this stuff to an extent for research purposes, and I will continue to investigate. I thank you for watching. This has been John Razimus with Occult Unmasked. Be seeing you.